well. So I wanted to create this short recording so that you can see me and hear my story. I usually will tell my story to every class that I teach. This class was a little bit different. Originally, it was going to be taught by someone else, and I was given it, and so I really hadn't had a lot of extra time to be able to redo the class in any way. So um, I haven't put my recording on there on who I am. So I just want to let you know that I'm Professor Curry. I have been teaching now going on 5 years, and I have started off teaching at Texas A&M Commerce with my graduate work, and then I moved to Panola College and have been teaching at Panola College. Even now, I teach at Panola College. This is my 4th year there, and now I'm teaching also with y'all at Jacksonville College. So I wanted to let you know that first of all, I am a statistic myself. I have been through some tough times, and that writing prompt was really a good one to kind of get you thinking, to change your how at what point did you go through a tough time or a low point, and then raise yourself up and rise above it and not be a victim, and change your perspective and know that now you've been able to move forward. It was a great writing prompt, and as I was reading them, like I said, I've done a lot in my life, and I've had a lot um, happen to me. So I thought I would share who I am. First of all, I have 3 degrees. I have an associate's degree from Eastville College in Mesquite, Texas. I have a bachelor's degree, a bachelor's of science degree in mathematics from Texas A&M Commerce. I also have a master's degree in mathematics from Texas A&M Commerce, and I'm starting in the fall my PhD in mathematics. So I have 3 degrees on my wall, but I am missing 1 degree, and it's a degree that you probably have. Um, do not have my high school diploma. I do not even have a GED equivalent. This is why I'm a statistic where in high school, in the 11th grade, I became a teenage mom. So I was a teenage mom, and I decided, because 17-year-olds sometimes decide things that later looking back you'd probably change your mind on, but I decided to drop out of high school as well. So I was a high school dropout, and I was a teenage mom. So from the get-go, um, it was not as easy for me as it would have been going straight out of uh, high school as most people. So knowing that, no matter what people did say and could have said, that, oh, what is going to happen? She's got a baby. Who is she going to be? Probably nothing. People can say what they want about you, but the only way that someone else can control what happens in your life is if you let them control it. If you believe it yourself and you start getting down on yourself. So no matter what people say to you, you make that choice to how your life is going to go and what you are going to think like. Um, and you can make that choice to be positive about life. You can make that choice to remember that Jesus is with you and that you have peace knowing that Jesus loves you. Um, or you can make a choice to keep just letting your past bring you down. Well, I decided not to do that. I got married to my baby's dad, and um, went on about my life. By 19, I had another baby, so I had 2 kids by 19, and I was raising those kiddos. But I think there was a drive in me that since I did drop out, that it kept me going. So I kept in my mind my goal of going to college. I always had a goal to go to college, and I didn't ever forget that. And so as I was going along and I was trying to take care of my little babies and be a wife at a very young age, I decided to go back to college, or to call Eastfield College there in Mesquite, Texas, and ask them. This was when my youngest, my boy I had at 16, or I got pregnant at 6. I had him at 17 when he was going into the second grade, and my daughter, who I had at 19, was going into kindergarten. That's when I picked up the phone. So it had been several years before I picked up the phone. And I called Eastfield College and I asked them, I said, hey, do you have to have a high school diploma or a GED to start college here? And she told me no. And I loved it. And she said, you have to take an extra test. So I had to take an entrance exam and I had to take what you would know as the SAT before I could get started. But once I did, I took those things. I got started at Eastfield. It was not easy because it had been a while since I've been to school. But I ended up 3 years later. Uh, well, there was some stuff that happened where it was actually 3 years of my actual time of teaching, going to school there, that I got my degree. So I got my associate's degree, regardless of having the kids. It was not easy, but I did. From there, I went on and went on to UTD. Had a little trouble there. By that time, I had divorced their dad, and so that was another statistic. But I was trying to raise those two little bunchkins, work full time, and be a divorced mom all at one time. And I was slowly but surely trying to get my bachelor's degree done. Well, it wasn't easy. It was hard. Um, but I mean, because I don't know how many of you have children, but when you're a mama and you're on your own, you go to work, you try to get your classes in, you run home, you pick up the kids, you cook supper, and then at night, after everybody's asleep, you finally get a chance to study, and you're sitting there falling asleep at the table. So, it wasn't an easy task, and so I've been there and done that. Now, I've had times where I couldn't pay for my college. I've had times where my grades dropped. I was trying to work, trying to take care of my kids. So, I've had really tough times going to school. So if you have a goal to get your associates, to go on, to transfer, whatever your goal is, don't ever let it go. Always remember it. Even if you have to take a time off and then go back to it, always make yourself go back to it, because one day you'll reach your goal if you keep being strong, working hard, and having perseverance. Um, just to kind of wrap up my little story, I went on. Eventually, when my kids were in high school, I met a wonderful man who I married, and he didn't have any kids. It was just me, him, and then my two kids. And we, as they went to high school, they finished up high school and grew up. Those kids did. And I went back to school to finish my bachelor's. So after all that stuff happened, I finished my bachelor's, and then I went on and was able to finish my master's. And this was all after my kids were mostly grown that I did that. So, no matter what happens, keep going. Also, let's see, let me tell you a little bit more. My husband and I had a little girl in 2009, and she's 7 now, so I have a 7-year-old. Those other two kids now, they're all grown. They're out of the house now, so now I have a new little 7-year-old little girl, and also then I was blessed to have gotten pregnant again, and in 2015 I gave birth to twins, and I have my little Daniel. He's almost 2 years old now. And I lost my little baby girl, Zoe. Um, she was his twin, but she's with Jesus and she's playing with him. Um, and it was a tough time then too. And I just keep on keeping on. I keep my attitude positive, and I remember that Jesus is with me, and I have peace knowing that. And so, if you ever get down, call me up or email me because you ain't gonna know my cell phone. But email me. I can talk to you. I'm on campus on Monday nights. Um, oh, one more thing I will tell you. Those kids that grew up, that boy I had at 17, well, he now has his high school diploma. He has his bachelor's degree in music education. So he is a band director. He also went on from there and went to SMU and received his master's of music performance. And then now, this past fall, he started his doctorate of music performance at the University of Houston. So he himself, raised from a teenage mom, has 3 degrees he's going to have on his wall as well, higher education degrees. And then my daughter, who I had at 19, she went to University of Arkansas in Fayetteville, Arkansas, the Razorbacks, and she received her bachelor's of music education as well. So both of those kids that was raised by a teenage mom are very successful right now, and that's because Jesus has been with them. And yeah, that's about it. So just know that. Anyways, let me know. I'm on campus Monday nights from about 5:15 to 9. So come by and see me. I'm in the Meadows building if you need to talk to me. All right.